Whoa! Hi, hi, folks. Jeez, what are you doing there? Hang on, I'll be with you shortly there. Hang on. Hello, folks. We're gonna talk about, hang on, I did mold in houses and condensation. It's a topic that well, some people in the south, like here in Canada, we always have to contend with that, but some people in the south lately have been afflicted by this. Hang on. Oops. That wasn't straight, I could tell. Yeah, condensation. Well, when you got condensation, you're going to get mold. Prior to this, we're going to talk about houses and garages and uninsulated garages, okay? Kind of separate both. In a house, you figure a house it has an envelope. Okay, your envelope, well, you're supposed to. Older houses, especially, okay, older houses down south that have been built for warm weather, and now they're freezing. The temperature drops by 30, 40 degrees overnight. You got problems. The only way you come close, dehumidifier and ventilation. With both, you may be able to eliminate, but the house wasn't built to manage this, okay? There's ways to make an envelope in the house. The inside of the house has to be sealed from the outside of the house, humidity, so the humidity from inside the house doesn't look to find a way through the walls. And then, because, okay, you're going to hear me talk about this maybe a few times here during this conversation. Dew point. Your cold weather outside and your hot weather inside, and where they both meet, and that's going to happen within the wall. You call that the dew point. And that condensates right there. That's water. And when you got water, you got problems. When a new house, it's got water, the wood's got water in it. So whether you want or not, you're going to have water build up within the wall, okay? And there's ways to manage this, and there's a way to swing the dew point towards the outside wall and not have it on the drywall on the inside. That's your insulation. Okay, here at this time I'm going to mention, I think it's open cell foam insulation. They spray that in the walls, in the ceilings. That's a bulletproof way. You're insulating and you're eliminating condensation. But not cheap. Okay, now the new up to code houses, well, here in Canada and probably the northern states, and you should be looking at this if you're down south as we get climate changing, okay, we'll call it like that. You get more swings in temperature, and you're going to get condensation. Your inner envelope, your house envelope, your inner walls, you put well, here it's a 6 mil plastic, so you keep the humidity inside the house. You're always producing humidity, whether you're cooking or taking a shower, and ideally you will vent this humidity out. either with your bathroom fans, your kitchen fans, your air makeup air units, air handling units. There's a name for that, I forget now, but you can buy these. They're what it does is it pushes the humid air out and it draws in fresh air from outside. You run that through your furnace, but that's another topic altogether. Okay, keep your humidity with not going through the walls. You want to exit through ventilation. Okay, your wall is comprised of an inside vinyl, not a vinyl, a plastic 6 mil. That's up to code. And outside you have a. I should have wrote this down. You have a. It's not a vapor barrier. It's it breathes. It's an outside membrane. It protects from the wind, but it breathes. There's a name for this. I'll think of it on my way here. But you completely wrap the outside, and you seal the joints with that red tape there, tuck tape, and now it's gonna bother me. Anyways, okay, so now your wall, there's an envelope, and you keep the humidity inside, but there's some humidity that's gonna, okay, in your ceilings, there's always heat that travels through the ceiling of a house into the attic. And where that heat accumulates, well, it could be on the plywood, okay, on the inside of the roof. So what you want to do is, if you have proper ventilation in the roofs, okay, in your bottom vents on the sides of your roof, if you're intaking air there, then you have, we used to call those vent moors. Your insulation doesn't go and fill the cavity at the end of the roof. It's a styrofoam, and you staple it on the roof, and then so the air goes in, follows the roof, and then it exits at the, you either have a ridge vent or a few different vents in the roof. Technology in this has changed a lot in the last years. They used to have these little vents, and they were that high off the roof, and as soon as it snowed a little bit, they were covered and they wouldn't work anymore. Now they have these little, hang on, okay, we'll put it like that. It looks like a little house there, and that vents, and even if there's snow, it still works. So it keeps the roofs from condensating on the inside, because you always have some heat, no matter if you have R40 or R60 insulation in the attic, you always have leakage. And because of this, you need ventilation. Ventilation takes the heat out. You take the heat out, you don't get the condensation. You don't get the dew point on the plywood, you don't get the condensation. I put this topic on here because I seen a buddy in Alaska's building a house. It's a modest house. I seen him packed. He's got rafters, and he packed the insulation in, and he blocked the bottom, and there's no ridge vent, there's no nothing. And the house is insulated, but it's going to sweat because the dew point is in the ceiling there, and he doesn't get no ventilation to bring out the heat. So it's going to condensate on the plywood. It's going to go down to the bottom, and he's got little blocks blocking the air from going in or out. So it's going to sweat down onto the walls and in the corners. That's where it shows up first. He's going to have mold. Hey, talk about a predicament and predictions. Eh? So if you want to stay away, stay away, you need ventilation. In the attic, good ventilation takes care. And, now we're going to address the garage. The non-insulated garages and the problems. Soon as you get swings in temperature, the more swings, the more condensation. The best chance you have is to have ventilation. You bring it in from the bottom, you pump it out from the top. That way, that you're not bucking the system. That's when you're increasing your ventilation, because just by the effect of warm air rises, it will exit. So if your fan's at the ceiling or close to the ceiling, and you have an opening at the bottom somewhere, then you get some cross ventilation, and it'll work for you better than just having a fan anywhere. You don't have much chance. If you're not heating, you're bucking the trend. And in these places where they have the heat and they get temperature swings, they have heat outside, they don't have heat indoor, and they're not insulated. Well, you're at the mercy of Mother Nature, and the best you can do is leave things open, like get as much natural ventilation as you can, and you'll eliminate. But your workbench and your tools, you're going to get condensation. I know that. It's a fact of life. Eh? But the basics of where hot meets cold, it'll condensate. Okay? And if you block that in there and you don't exit it with ventilation, well, it needs a place where it can stay until it dries out. On a house, you have the inner wall, which is a sealed wall. The outside wall, it's a breathes. Your humidity will go out, but the air can't go in. What do they call that? Typar. I don't know if that's a commercial name. Typar. Yeah, that's what they call it. It's a outside house wrap. You seal all your joints very well. That ensures the wind doesn't come in, but the humidity will it will go out of the walls that way. Anyways, that's as much as I can do. The mold, if you have mold on your walls, well, say to yourself that the only way you can address an old house, the older houses, address if you're having condensation within the walls, is you spray it. You get they drill holes on the outside, and then you get spray foam put into the walls. On a garage, if you're not heating your garage and you want to cut down on your condensation, you just close the doors. Well, I think if you spray foam it, that will cut down on a lot, but it's very hard. You have the basic, like me, I don't get no condensation here in my garage. I'm always at about 55 degrees Fahrenheit, 55 degrees. It's not warm, but it's not cold enough that it'll condensate if I heat it up. Anyways, that's the scoop, folks. So I hope this helped some people. Ventilation is your friend. Okay. I salute you all. The comments are welcome, and we'll see you in the next one.